Hey, hey, how's all my seekers doing? How's everybody doing with their interpretation of the universe today? We uh, we got a wild one today, and it's about Bible stories you probably didn't hear about, but they're in there, and gonna give you all the verses, everything where it's at, so you can't. Oh, but where's it at and stuff? Or it doesn't seem like I'm just like, yeah, somewhere in there. Some dipshits were, I mean, yeah, there's gonna be some jokes in it, but what Secrets Podcast doesn't have a little blasphemy, you know what I'm saying? So, anyways, if anybody wants to, feel free to give their interpretations of these stories. Break a fucking leg, get your fucking Moses. I mean, Moses didn't really pray the shit, but get, I feel free to. I love to see people walk themselves in circles, but so, if you didn't know me, I grew up in private school. Um, my mom was doing what she thought was best. It's not like I was like, oh, she wanted the best. She's religious. She makes very good points. Very, very smart Christian. Um, right interpretation on majority of that stuff. But it's everybody has different interpretations. Here's your interpretation, and then there's the right one. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah. So let's do this. Also, got a lot of cool stuff coming. Building up some content. Busting your ear. So much for monetizing this. Anyways, let's get started. Enough fucking delay. Um, bubble, bubble tea is fucking. No, I'm just kidding. They need to give me some money as much as I drink these. All right. So first we're gonna look at second. I have some notes. Give me a break. But the notes are like the verse and then Elijah axe head. It's just to remind me of. I know you probably don't believe this, but I've read the Bible a good bit, and as bad as it is to say, the more I read it, the funnier it got, the less believable it got. Like, the more I understood, which, if you understand the symbolism and what it's trying to tell you, instead of thinking there's people looking at a snake on a pole and healing themselves and stuff. Anyways. So, 2 Kings 6, 1 through 7 is Elisha and the magic axe head. Now, this one's not as weird, but it's still some Chris Angel shit. He loses this axe head, which vexes Yahweh. He's like fucking upset about something. When is Yahweh not upset? I mean, it's set, so yeah. But so he like can't continue on his little mission or whatever without this axe head, and so he grabs the stick that the axe head was on because he loses it in the river, and it just says he throws the stick in there, and I don't know, I imagine he says some magic words like fucking bippity boppity, axe handle go ploppity. I don't fucking know. Who knows, but and then it says it like floats up to it, like it puts it back on. And I remember hearing that as a kid and was like, they just completely, because they were just reading over it, and I was like, why is that even in there? They're like, it's a miracle. It's probably was caught in a wave and floated by. They're like, oh. But there's some other trippy shit about Elisha. Little bonus about Elisha, which is in Second Kings. I want to say like 23, 24, something like that. But Elisha's grave, there was some soldiers that were going past his grave, and um, if you didn't know, Elisha asked for double the anointing that Elijah had, and Elijah was like extremely anointed, like went up in a chariot, UFO, or chariot of the gods. Anyways, I'm not gonna get all Von Daniken in here, do my hair straight up, like, anyways, but they're going by and they have a dead soldier, and since Elijah was so anointed, they went to throw their like comrade in what they thought was like a, just a little ditch or whatever. Well, Elijah's bones were in there, and it says just from the guy touching Elisha's bones, he came back out of the grave alive. It's in there. But I'm trying to bring it in easy. We're going to hit some crazy ones where you're like, no, no way. But here's a good one. It's like, how do you say the name? Absalom? Yeah, so Absalom gets a Tarantino kill. Or Absalom gets Tarantino killed by Jael. Um, and someone named Deborah. Some people say Deborah. Like, you've been playing too much Mortal Kombat, guys. But it's just Deborah. But this Deborah, who was like a soothsayer or something. That's why I don't know when you're like prophesized. I'm like, a soothsayer. You can't be a fortune teller and draw the line at Yahweh and be like, oh, I'm just prophesying. I'm not doing some oogie boogie bullshit, But people will be a little upset with this one. But I saved some for a part 2, which is going to be way more. I'm just breaking in easy in this one. The next one's going to be out of control. But yeah, she's she goes like where their tents are and stuff, and Absalom is sleeping, and I guess she was like, what can I use? And grabs a tent peg and drives it through his temple. That's a bad way to go. Tent peg through the head. I was like, oh, Tarantino kill. Yes. They don't preach about that. They're not going to talk about many of these, but pretty gnarly. Pretty metal. Not the most metal. Pretty metal. Was it? No. Okay, so yeah, that's in Second Samuel. No, Absalom was oh yeah. Absalom is the dude with the hair. So, and this one is a little more popular, but that's why it sticks out as soon as I do it. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that. So Absalom is like, I don't know, beefing with King David. Like he sees or David sees like his wife bathing or something. He's like, I'm not even gonna do it. But he's like she has some, you know what I'm saying? But he's like lusting or whatever it says. He was fornicating in his mind, which is a sin already. Gouge your eye out, remember? Anyways, King David sees that, and it gets to a point where he's like running from, pretty sure it's like King David's men, but he had super long flowing hair, like It emphasizes that, but you're about to see why. He's on horseback, just fucking Paul Revere that shit, just getting away from him too. Hair flowing in the wind like a fucking Tanakh Fabio. And as it's blowing in the wind, it wraps around a tree branch and yanks him off that hoe and breaks his neck. Gonna want to get another Tarantino killing? I believe that's you. I remember hearing that as a kid. So much stuff like this they teach in private schools and stuff. I was like third grade when I heard that, and I was like, we we can't watch Aladdin here. But dude just got yeeted off a horse by a tree branch, hung by his hair. But what are you gonna do? You can only watch VeggieTales, but it's okay for chicks to get their hands cut off or stoned for grabbing a man by his secrets. The secrets. Sounds like Jack Black or something. Like Jack Black was writing it. Yeah, my secrets. I'd read it then if Jack Black wrote it. But so now what I was talking about, I don't know how you say his name. Cicera. He's the one that gets the tent peg through the head, and that's the one that DeVore is like. He's supposed to be like this mighty king and stuff, that like a warrior, kind of a tyrant who wasn't a tyrant then, but it was unheard of when she was like, "Yo, chick's gonna kill you," because what, like 4,000 years ago or something like that, roughly. So the goddess had been gone for a while, unfortunately, and people were like, "A chick's gonna." But a couple nights later, yeah, tent peg through the head, chick does it, and doesn't say much after that. It's like she did it. Next story. But that's Judges 4:4. Go check it out. It's a good read. Here's another popular one. Now we already talked about Elijah. He was very anointed, like they said. He had the Oogie Boogie with him, the force was strong with him. But so much so that since he was going up to the temple one day, and it says some children, which they were probably teenagers to be fair. It's still fucked up, but it wasn't even that bad of a joke. They were like cracking on his baldness, like, "Hey Kojak, bring your shiny rough top head ab boy." Nah, I'm just kidding. It would have been better if they said, and I quote, "It's go up, thou bald head." I'm sure they were like, chanting it like, "Go up, thou bald head," and Cuz gets pissed and turns around and curses him in the name of God. And so it says 2 she-bears come out of the woods and maul 42 of them. 42? 42 badass kids going around messing with people. It's just like hostile, isn't it? And then it's because she-bears are bigger. That's why it specifies. But if you don't know that, you're like, these 2 lesbian bears come from? Why did he seek the lesbian bears on them, It's like, hey, it's a ridiculous story, but if you had that kind of power, why would... And what's crazy is, when you tell people about it, they're like, they were mocking the prophet of God. So you killed 42 of them? You killed 42 kids? That's the thing I don't like, that people like defend it like, hey, should have been talking about Elisha. maybe Elijah should have grown some fucking hair with that power. Let's use our thinking caps with some of these stories. And that's 2 Kings 2:23 through 29. Exactly like I told it. Go up, thou bald head. She bears 42 of them. It says mauled them. But yeah, that's how that story is. Then he walks off like fucking Brad Pitt in the goddamn sunset on Ocean's 11, like nothing happened. Like, yeah, that's what you get with the prophet of God, murdering children. And here's another one that most people remember, but we're going to show a couple holes in it. So my dog's trying to get in the. She's had a stomach ache. She's like, I was like, no, you go in your bed outside. But anyways, so we know about Moses, like magic rod, how he turns it into a snake and all this stuff. So who remembers where he taps the rock and splits it and water comes out? Kind of a cool story until you realize that it says there was enough water for 2.3 million people. You know how much fucking water that is? And to come out of a rock, no less. My question is, very close to that time, they were complaining about not having water. I'm pretty sure it was like after that. He didn't do that for it, because when they were like, yo, we're thirsty, Yahweh was like, man, I'm sending some snakes to bite y'all's little bitch at. But it's fiery serpents. We've been over it before. What's a fiery serpent? Not a goddamn thing. It's Kundalini is what it is. Yeah, look it up. I don't have time to explain Kundalini. But when you look it up, you're like, oh, fiery serpent. I see. But, yeah, so not only is it that there was enough for 2.3, that's how much the Exodus says, or it was estimated. Of course, you get people trying to fix it because it sounds ridiculous. Well, numbers were different then. Fucking math was different in the day. But I just never understood, why didn't he do that when they were all, instead of being like, y'all go meditate, which was the snake on the pole. We've already been over that in another video. If you think people were looking at a bronze snake on a pole and healing themselves, then you're a fourth grader. I mean, doesn't make sense. But it's like the snake, which is kind of leaning up your spine. On the pole, your spine. That's why it also says, just like the snake in the wilderness, you got to raise up Christ, raise the Christos to your brain. That the claustrum, such a weird word. The sacred secretion. I hate that. What it's called. That sounds so gross. Oh, my sacred secretion. Anyways, let me not get sidetracked here. And that's Numbers 2 through 13. But this is for sure the most metal story in the Bible. Hands down. Nothing even close. So there's this guy, it's Mark 5, 1 through 13. This is a pretty famous one too. There's a guy like at the boundaries of the city, and he's like, makes it sound like he's crazy. He's yelling incoherent stuff like that, like nobody can get to him. So, Jesus is like, hey, put your boy in, you know who my dad is? And he goes to talk to him, and they're saying there's demons in him and stuff. And he says, "Who are you?" And Cuz said, "I am Legion, for we are many." I don't know if you knew what a legion was. A legion was like 4,000 to 6,000. Because I think he was trying to mess with him. Like, yeah, bitch, there's 4,000 demons in it. There are demons, and there's a ton of them. But that's not where it's weird. That's pretty metal. But then it says he's like begging. The unclean spirits were like begging him to throw him into the bodies of a herd of pigs close by. And it says when he does, they run off a mountain into the ocean. It doesn't really specify why or what the fuck that means. Who knows? I've heard people like Jordan Maxwell saying, "Oh, maybe it's Nephilim and the Apsu. They're trying to get back to him." Come on, JM, you do better than that. The liquid flow acid. I'm so tired of hearing people regurgitate that fucking shit. But anyways, let's keep going. Here's what I still don't understand. So if you have an explanation, please tell me. Please explain. So in Luke 14:25, it's a big crowd around people, or a big crowd of people around Jesus when he's coming through, and he's like signing babies' heads and stuff, and like like handing out Van Halen passes and stuff. No, but I don't remember somebody asking him or something, but he just starts going into this rant where he says like, you have to hate your brothers, your sisters, your mother, your father to be a disciple. That's one that doesn't sound real. I don't know what the parable is there. He's got some weird ones, like that. I don't even know what the fuck that would be. Like, maybe it's the suffering thing. Like, it doesn't make sense. You gotta hate everybody to do this message of love. You know, who remembers a verse saying, "Honor thy father and mother"? These seem like conflicting ideas. I'm not trying to say, "Oh, what the fuck?" But what the fuck? Literally says, "No, obey him," and all that. And then it's like, nah, hate him. Take him to the front of the city and stone him. You're like, what? That's how they would stone people. And it's like, why would they do that? So everybody could watch. It was like fucking pay-per-view back in the day. You didn't have fucking Def Comedy Jam on HBO, so you would watch fucking Malachi and Jibo get stoned by people. Some people, they would dig them up to their neck and then just, that would suck, just being there like, oh shit. People cheering on and stuff. Such a weird time. So strange. But yeah, that's all it says too. He doesn't really say, anything else about it. It kind of reminds me about I could kind of understand, or I think I see what he was saying, but there's another one. I think it's like, is it Matthew 4:23? I know it's in Matthew, but it says, "Suffer little children to come unto me." I guess it's saying like, when you suffer, you're more likely to kind of. When do you call for Jesus? In a jail cell, in a car wreck, and not when you hit the lottery. You know what I'm saying? Sounds wrong, but it's right. Think about it more. You're like, that's true. Yeah, I just always thought it was weird that it said, "Suffer little children." then Ghost made the song "Suffer Little Children." She calls it idolatry. Very weird stuff, but Jesus might have been dosing up, you know what I'm saying? You'd really be healing people if you was anointing them with cannabis oil, dabbing people on their foreheads who had never done it. Here you go, my son. Straight fucking like honey oil or something. Fuck yeah. I think I'm healed. I definitely don't remember what the fuck I was sick with. You know? Imagine never doing it and getting a giant dab to the forehead. But I don't want to get off track. I can go on and on about stuff in this. And I love to like, and not even to like mess with I love to talk about this and get her like point of view on it. Some stuff she explains well, you know. And but anyway, and that's Luke 14:25 if you want to look that up. So I'm sure you're like, there's something he's not explaining. Go read it. Now who remembers Jonah? Anybody remember Jonah? So there's a lot of symbolism going on here. You got to really read between the lines to get what they're actually talking about. First of all, he goes to Nineveh and is he's in Nineveh because he's saying how wicked they are and stuff. Now, if anybody knows Nineveh, that's Anunnaki territory. That's like the stone reliefs of like the Apkallu with the fish hat on and the pine cone and stuff. It's Nineveh. Pretty sure it was like pretty much Nimrod town. So Jonah's like, yo, y'all are some fucking pagans. Y'all should burn. A lot like how it is today, you know? But so somehow his dumb ass gets swallowed by a fish. But remember the fish hat I was just talking about? And you're like, how do you get the connection if he's swallowed by a fish? Well, one translation of Jonah, the exact translation, is Oannes. Anybody know who Oannes is? Or like old manly P. Hall, you say, oh, no, he would say Oannes. Somebody would say Owains. It's not Owains, it's Oannes. But that was the Apkallu who they made that relief about, that they would do the fish hat on and do the parade and stuff because it was like celebrating the Apkallu, which were supposed to be sages who imparted wisdom on mankind of like reading and writing and arithmetic and numbers and stuff. But it says a dude came up to the Persian Gulf out of the water and had the head of a fish with a man's head underneath it and like the back of a fish's body, but his arms and legs were out of it. And that's where it says the Enuma Elish came from, which is pretty sure it's like the first creation epic, which they all kind of bit from it, you know. But that's who it says it came from, was Oannes. And some people say it was like I hate the fucking bubbles. Too many. But some say Oannes was Dagon, which Dagon was Dagon was the Dagda, if you've ever heard of the Dagda, and is it Gaelic or it's either Gaelic or Celtic. I'm pretty sure it's Gaelic though. and it's pretty much saying that he's which Dagon was the god of the Philistines, wore the fish hat and stuff. I mean, it's what the Pope is, what the mitre is. Think about it. That's the fish hat. This isn't breaking news either. Manly P. Hall was pointing this out like in the 40s and stuff. It's pretty well known. And then they have the staff with the pine cone on it. Just just be, just tell them you're doing the Anunnaki shit. Pine cone in the fish hat? The fuck? You can't get any closer to it. You know what I'm saying? Not. I mean, you might as well be a stone relief at that point. But has anybody really thought the Pope was ever actually doing good? There's been some bastard popes like Pope Romani or Rome, that one that was a douchebag that called the Crusades and stuff. People think like, oh, the Crusades, brought Jesus to people and stuff. No, no, he didn't. I hate to tell you, the Crusades were killing Christians, mainly Christians. They used to be like Gnostic Christians and the Christos teaching, like Jesus is in you, but it's like the crystals going in your pineal gland and stuff. It's the inner Christos and stuff, and the sacred secretion, but it takes like 3 days to like go up or go down and come back up and stuff, and it's when you read about it, you're like, oh, I see what you're talking about. But yeah, I think Jonah was to like lead you to Oanis. They were like, hey, we saw the relief. That's what we're talking about. But if you didn't know about it, you never see it, and then you would just think a guy got ate by a whale and lived in there for 3 days. Bullshit. And then flew away on a griffin after that. Bye. They're gonna play some Quidditch after that, But okay, let me quit with the jokes. No, there's gonna be a lot more. This is a crazy one. Okay, so there's a zombie apocalypse in the Bible. Yeah, try to tell me there's not. It's gonna blow your mind. And it doesn't say shit about it, really. It just says it happened. So, Matthew 27:52 says, like, when Jesus rose, a bunch of people in the city rose from the dead too. And then it just leaves you at that. You know how it'd be like 2 Samuel 1 through 17 and stuff like that, where it'll tell us. No, it's one verse that says it. Don't say what happened to them. Don't say if they were biting people. It's just like, whole city rose from the dead. Just going around the city. That's it. Wait, what? No, yeah, that's it. Don't ask questions. You might see it's bullshit if you. But yeah, I'll give you time. Go look it up. Go look it up right now. I'll give you time. Hit my vape. Come on. Matthew's the first. There we go. See? Zombie apocalypse. That's not even the wildest one yet. I can't wait to get to that one. But how's it get wilder than the zombie apocalypse? But so in Exodus 7:20 through 24, that's when Moses has his magic, um, you know, his magic wand pretty much, his rod, and he turns the Nile to blood or whatever, which was probably red algae, but um, it says he turns it to that, and that they were like, they couldn't drink from it, so they're having to dig in the banks to get water and stuff. But in 20 through 24, it's talking about it, and then it talks about how Pharaoh was out there, and he was like, I don't give a shit. Turns around and walks off. Fucking Ramses II was like, yeah, don't give a shit. I had two guys come do the snake thing too. It's yeah. Or he could have just been like, yeah, it's red algae, bruh. It's red algae. Like Moses was like, okay, boogie, you know. And he was like, no, this ain't it. Which the whole Exodus thing is about Pharaoh's heart being hardened. I mean, Cuz didn't care. He was the fucking king. Who cares if there was a famine? Ain't gonna be for the king. You know what I'm saying? Why wouldn't your heart harden? You know, he ain't gonna be starving. That's for sure. But then that's why I never understood that he sends the is it Apollyon he sends? He sends the destroyer, the angel of death, to kill the firstborn. But surprisingly, there's lots of stuff that explain these plagues, and a lot of them would be like cause and effect for the next thing. Pretty sure they're saying that like a volcano could have erupted, and that would have blown soot all in the air, which would have caused darkness for a while from all the smoke and ash in the air. You know, for a night or so, where he turned it to night, and then that would have came down in the sea, which would have created the red algae, and then that would have made the frogs all come out of it. And it's like, oh shit, that does make sense. And then it even says that when volcanoes come off, they give out a giant emissions of like carbon monoxide and stuff, and it would like be rolling on the ground. Well, guess who had the honor of sleeping on the ground? Nobody else did, but the firstborn of the family. And see, go look it up. Look all this stuff up. It's like science. It's not Steven's like, oh, but it makes sense. So it's saying that they kind of got carbon monoxide poisoning because people that weren't laying on the ground, you know, kind of rolled under them. It wasn't enough, but it was like a fog rolling over them, you know. No amount of sheep's blood is, let me paint this on the door. This will keep you safe. This isn't fucking pagan at all. Paint my doorway with blood so my kid don't die. Some OCD shit right there. You know what I'm saying? Who saw that MTV documentary where the lady had like crippling OCD? One of the people that had to like step back and forth, like they're doing like Dance Revolution or something, like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Well, she was flipping the light switch. The cameraman's like, why are you doing that? And she's like, which I think they just wanted her answer because he says that so much. And why are you doing that? And she's in her son's room, and she's like, because my son will die if I don't. Just like dead serious. And then it pans over, and her son is sitting right there next to her on the bed going, like, damn. And I was thinking, what the fuck? Hey, he could have got carbon monoxide poisoning, but Too much bubbles in my tea. Anyways, let's go on. How about we all know about the burning bush, Exodus 3:4. Well, the way it describes it and the color of it and like the consistency of it, it sounds like an acacia bush. Um, they also held the acacia tree and acacia wood in high demand. High demand because it is extremely concentrated in DMT. And so, if you went by a giant acacia bush burning, you would think that hoe was talking to you too. You know what I'm saying? And that's what they made the ark with. I'm pretty sure it was acacia wood. I mean, it had gold and statue cherubims on it. Let's make an idol, everybody. Fucking killed some people worshiping Zeus in the desert, you know? It's like, how dare y'all have a golden calf? Now we're gonna carry this golden fucking trunk around the city. It's when you think about it like that, there's some contradictions in there if you think about it. People say, "Oh no, what was in it?" Think about it. There's a theory that was like a radio device. If you believe the Anunnaki stuff is not that far fetched, if you think they were messing with cymatics and like genetic manipulation and stuff like that, and like they were like bombing spaceports and stuff. That's what like Sodom and Gomorrah, which we're gonna touch base on a messed up story with that. But yeah, they're like Lebanon, you know, the giant square rock that is just, I think it's like 900,000 tons or something, and it's cut perfectly square. Who the fuck is cutting that? Explain to me. Explain to me who the fuck is cutting that. No, nobody. And who the fuck is setting it there? It's like in the middle of the desert, just giant rectangular block, and that's in Lebanon. It's called Baalbek, and but yeah, somehow we got it there. We're doing 6 degrees of separation again, but stay with me. Here's a crazy one. We're getting into some crazy ones now. So in Exodus 4, is that 426 or 420? Hey, so I don't remember what happened, but God was thinking about killing Moses. Who knows? Maybe he just wanted to test his faith, or maybe he fell out of favor with him, so he wanted him to fall on his sword, or maybe there's a lot of things I could put there, but that's not the crazy thing. The crazy thing is what makes him not do it. It says like somebody's midwife comes and circumcises somebody, and blood from the foreskin gets on his shoes, and he's like, "Oh, you're good. You're good." I don't know. I don't have an explanation. Like I don't know what it was about. Maybe he was just grossed out and was like, "Never mind. I'll kill you later." You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's exactly that. Go read it. Uh, the foreskin blood on the shoes and stuff. It'll throw you for a loop. Psalms 32 pretty much admits that. Let me let my dog in before she freaks the fuck out. We're super, professional here at the Seekers page. What's up, girl? You want to make a cameo? Oh. Hey, yeah, go shows my butt stop. Quit, god damn it. I mean my tobacco. I'm hitting out of a pinch hitter. But so come on, girl. I'll get you in a minute, alright, fool? You have to make an appearance on. You have to make an appearance on tape. Go, girl. Okay. Anyways, we're already, 45 minutes in? She's like, no, fuck you. But, so, while we're talking about, no, foreskins, we'll go ahead and knock this one out. So, I don't know what all the thing with foreskins is, but, so, David wants to marry Michelle, who is Saul's daughter. And I'll give my mom credit for this explanation. It's still weird, though. Could have done other things to get him to try and put his guard down, but he's like, you can have my daughter if you bring me 100 foreskins. You know, he was like, what the fuck did you say? And if that wasn't weird enough, he brings him 200 back. Imagine how strange that would be. I don't know if it's some kind of symbolism there. I would hope so, because what the fuck? What the fuck? But yeah, it says he does it, but my madre explained it. It's like he wanted him to have to do some kind of procedure that would make him vulnerable, you know, like, first of all, something that he probably wouldn't be able to do, but second of all, like, he would, you know, be vulnerable while he's having to stop and cut the tips of people's dicks off, you know. And I can buy that, but that doesn't make it any less strange. It's like, hey, but why couldn't he just like cut an earlobe off or something? What's the deal with foreskins? It's fucking Enlil tagging his cattle, like I said. It's where the fucking circumcision and shit comes from. But and in Numbers 16, 31 and 35, so Korah is like I don't know if it's people or a person. I'm pretty sure it's like people. It's like a tribe. And so they're like, it says that they're profaning God and stuff. I don't know what they're saying. Like, hey, Yahweh, you still tucking your sack and ruling like a girl? No, I'm just kidding. But it doesn't say what they're saying. But and it says the ground swallows them up and they go to Sheol. So it basically says, gosh, he is being a little fuckhead today. Jesus. 1 second. Hey. Chill. Jesus Christ. Jesus. Oh, fuckhead. Anyways, so it gets wilder. Bear with me. I know we're at 49 minutes. Shut the fuck up, Bella. Shit. Damn. Jesus fucking Christ. Oh, I'm fine until we start fucking doing a video. But so let's see. Let's get to the good ones. There's about Ehud. I think that's how Ehud. kills the king Elgun, and he was extremely fat, and cause like stabs him in the stomach, and it says he was so fat that he lost his sword in his stomach. You know how fucking fat you gotta be to like your fucking stomach to swallow a sword. And then if that wasn't good enough, he shits himself after that everywhere. You know, the writers that make pop. You know what I'm saying? They always got make pop. But it gives a visual, to say the least. Here's a funny one. So, did my page come out? So, in Leviticus, what a book! If you like blood and stoning people and just some brutal shit, read Leviticus. It's fucking insane. I'm pretty sure that's where the thing about if two men are fighting and one of the men's wife tries to help her husband and takes someone by the secrets is what it calls. It says like it's either stone her or cut off her hand. It says show no mercy. It was like Yahweh was like, yo. It's like what was it? It was like, you don't shoot him in the dick. He was like, yo, I don't play that shit. But yeah, so in Leviticus 21, 17 through 24. Leviticus 21, 17 through 24. He's saying people who can't make sacrifices to him, like that he won't accept. And the list includes, I'm not making this up. It's not a joke. I know you're like, Steve-O's fucking around, but it says blind people, lame people, lame, it's all pretty lame to me, but lame, let's see, people with damaged or crushed testicles. A lot of fucking shit happening to the testes in the Old Testament. But no, it gets crazier. It says people with a hunchback and dwarfs can't. What the fuck? What? I don't. Why? It was already getting weird with the crushed testicles. But I remember reading it was like a hunchback. Like he was like, "Hey Quasimodo, I don't want that bullshit from you. You and Peter Dinklage gonna have to, you know what I'm saying? Hit the exit sign, cuz." But it doesn't really explain why. I don't know if it thinks because it's impure or something. I think it's hilarious, is what it is. But yeah, dwarfs and hunchbacks and people with damaged testicles. Don't believe me? Go look it up. I can't wait for you to see it. Have a nice little laugh. Ask that when you get to the pearly gates. Why? I told you they're going to keep getting crazier. So, Ezekiel, in memoriam for the siege of Jerusalem, Ezekiel would build a model of Jerusalem and then lay on his left side for 390 days. And then on his right side for 40. And here's the kicker. And this is Ezekiel 1 through 16. And then he tells him that he has to cook bread with a fire that he made with his own shit. And even Ezekiel was like, nah, that's too fucking wild, bruh. And this is Ezekiel who had the vision where he was pretty much doing the like Kabbalistic, like fasting a bunch, rubbing excrement on himself and stuff. There's a lot of him doing stuff with shit. I don't know why. Maybe it's like hey, don't care about. I don't know why would you make a fire with shit anyways? Does shit light up like that? How does he do that? You know what I'm saying? I guess maybe rub it on the wood. But your first thought is like he's like shoveling shit in a bonfire. Like, you know, make some shit burgers, some shit dogs, you know. Anybody want baked beans? Anybody? But uh, if that's not, that just leaves me speechless. Make a fire with your shit and cook bread with it for memory of the siege of Jerusalem. Maybe a lot of people ate shit. Who knows? And then where they're at Lot's house, where this is two angels, but we've already been over this before. It was Nergal and Ninurta, who is like Hercules and somebody else, because Abraham was a general named Abram from the Akkadian and stuff, and they have this other story, and they were like giant Anunnaki dudes. They were like light skinned, blue eyes, giant, super chiseled, 13 feet tall and shit. And when they went to Sodom and Gomorrah, they were like, hey, y'all looking good, you know? And they were like, what? And they were like, oh, we gotta take it. That's why they were trying to break into the house. And then that's not already wild enough. Then Lot's like, no, hey, leave Nergal and Ninurta alone. Y'all raped my daughters. I think Ninurta and Hercules would fend for themselves. You didn't have to be like, hey, take Mary Beth and I don't know, the bitch that turned to salt, you know. Well, no, that was Lot's wife. So, gee, this isn't like the Greek story of him turning around, you know, in the underworld, and you know, you see some connections now. But so then here's here's a here's a good one. So in Acts, is it Acts or Peter 17:24 through 26? Oh no, it's Matthew 17:24 through 26. Peter can't pay his taxes, and he can't pay his taxes, so he's trying to get up money to where he can, or he's trying to figure something out. And I don't know if they're by a river or whatever, but he like he I can't even say it. This is some David Blaine shit. I picture like David Blaine. He pulls a coin or coins out of a fish's mouth. Like he was like, "Nah, I don't have any money for the taxes, or do I?" Look in that fish's mouth. It's David Blaine's whole skit. Or do I? You know, and I guess he probably said some magic words, you know, fucking abracadabra, I need some cash. I don't know, who fucking knows. But he definitely pulls coins out of a fish's mouth. But yeah, if that paints the picture, I feel like if you could do that, I would be fucking pulling Loomis bank bags out of. Why wouldn't you just? I mean, Peter was a fisher, wasn't he? He should have been fucking rich, shouldn't he have? The fuck did he not have money? You could pull it out of fish's mouth the whole time? The fuck? How did you not have money in the first place? And then you find it wherever. Like you take your shoe off and it falls out. Found it in this fish's mouth. Makes sense. Like that wasn't staged at all. Exactly like David Blaine. But yeah, and what I just wrote down for that was Peter does fish magic. Here's a doozy. We're getting close to wrapping it up. So in Mark 14, 51 through 52. This is about, people gonna get upset about this one, but hey, this is the story. When they come to get Jesus, to getting ready to, kick the bucket and stuff. Well, this is written down as a whole different story when the Greeks took record of it and the Romans and stuff. It pretty much says he was caught with a naked boy but even in Mark it says when they got him that a naked boy runs like out of the garden and they had to catch him. They catch him and arrest him. And you should hear people try and squirm around in this to make sense out of it. Leave it to fucking Catholics and Orthodox Yahwehist and stuff to be like, oh, a naked boy there. I mean, when they would bury people, they would just be in like a cloth over them. And when they said, "Are you Yeshua?" when he said, "I am," the power from that rose the dead. Did it? Did he put on the infinity gauntlet after that and fucking snap say it? Like, we're getting to superpowers now, like puts the crown of thorns on. Take form of Jesus Tron. Go, gadget pedophile. But yeah, that's in there. It's kind of a famous story. The naked refugee of the Garden of, am I saying this right? Gethsemane. Go read it for yourself. Mark 14, 51 through 52. And go look up the Roman and Greek records of it where they're like, no, we caught him and stuff. He wasn't dead. He was just really high. Because I hate to tell you, but they used to be getting high. Which is where I'm about to go with this next one. Like Dionysus cults and stuff like that. So Medea, which was like Medusa and stuff, used to be a kind of drug that they would get from snake venom, and it's like they would neutralize it and it would like turn psychoactive. I forget what it's called. It was pretty famous back in the day though. This is why you had Dionysus rubbing snakes all over him and stuff. They was getting high as fucking stuff. But I think like vinegar neutralized it. This is also why when Jesus was on the cross, they remember it says they were trying, like they were being dickheads and were like, here's some water. It's vinegar. Like they were just petty like that. They nailed Cuz to a tree and was whipping him and stabbing him with spears. You think they were like, hey, we can make him drink vinegar. No. They were actually like being sympathetic and gave it to him so it would like relieve some of his pain. This is also why one of the main side effects from it was that you get extremely thirsty. Extremely thirsty. What was he saying on the cross? I'm thirsty. I'm thirsty. I'm thirsty. Thirsty. It's also why Luke didn't say nothing about it. All the other ones kind of mention it. I think it was like maybe Mark that said it was like hyssop or something, which is like a weak thing that's like mint. It's like it was like Jewish Ruppel mints, pretty much. Jewish Ruppel mints. But Luke didn't say nothing about it at all. I know, I wonder why that was. Because Luke was a physician. And I'm pretty sure Luke was skeptical of that whole thing. But there's stories that they say that when they gave him that, it like, sedated him to where, he passed out, and they were like, oh, which some say that's why they, they thought he was dead, and then he really wasn't or something. But the Romans were pretty sure he was dead. I think they like broke his legs after that stuff. the Roman record says this. He was dead. The Romans didn't. Oh, what? We didn't kill him after fucking torturing him for days. But so remember this about the snake thing. So who here has heard about Paul at Malta? So Paul at the island of Malta, Paul was on the same shit. Paul was on. They all were. It was like a it was like a cult pretty much. They were getting high and stuff. I'll touch base in the part 2 of it more, but this is why when Paul got bit by the poisonous snake, he just slung it off and wasn't affected by it. Yeah, because he had so much of that he had an immunity to it. And then it says he starts healing people from snake bites. Hey, got something that can make you better. You know what I'm saying? Shit, that sounds down as fuck. Shit, I wish I was on Malta Island. Just fucking doing snake vinegar and tripping. And now we just need a burning bush and it's a party, you know? But okay, so hopefully you enjoyed this, because maybe you can explain some of this shit, because I have no fucking idea what some of these mean. But I had to sit through them and take my IQ down some for hearing them, so now I'm going to share them with you. Take yours down a little. But got some really cool stuff coming up. Some cool people going to be on the podcast. Friends of mine, some musicians, fellow musicians that I play with and stuff. It's going to be really cool. I think we're going to branch out to a little bit more, maybe like some reality shifting, or we're going to start getting a little out there. But hey, we're just seeking the truth, right? So yeah, glad you sat here and listened to my dumbass talk about Yahweh tucking it back. Dude, I know some about super Baptist families who'd be like, oh my God, it's jokes, guys. If anything, I thought it was informative. In fact, check all of this. But until then, y'all have a great day. See you later.